Welcome back everyone to another installment of the Greenhorn Photo Taker. Today I took the advice of Thomas Heaton in the last video of his that I watched. He basically said, don't worry about the rain, your gear will be fine, go shoot in those conditions, don't be afraid of them. So I'm gonna try it. But this will be the first time I'm taking my new Sony out in the rain. So I'm hesitant. By all accounts, Sony weather sealing is adequate, but not top of the notch, top of the line. So I want to be careful. So to be careful and increase my odds of not doing anything stupid and ruining my camera, I'm going to take it to places that I am familiar with and places that I can do quicker compositions and expose my camera less to the elements than otherwise. So right now we are at the base of the Delaware off of Karamac Trail. I don't know what to make of this area. It's definitely graffitied up. So this first location is a bust. I'm trying to capture a little inlet across the river, or maybe it's a small island that I can't see the other side of. And I thought maybe, how do I do this? And I thought maybe this would be nice, but there are wires going across the top of those trees you see in front of me. So that it would not be okay for the picture. And as well, there's just really no character there. I don't love it, so I'm going to move on. Nice little warm-up spot, but nothing that I would ever call worthy of time and effort. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. We are at the trailhead for, I believe it is Douglas, and as you can see behind me, it's raining out, which is okay. This is a nice light rain, which I can deal with, but the colors across the river are really just popping, truly popping. And in front of me, the river's low enough that there's some rocks that I think will make some nice foreground, a nice foreground element. So we are going to give this a chance. Yeah, hopefully the rain holds off for just a little bit while longer. It doesn't get heavy on me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here is the basic shot. I did move my camera after I took it, so this is not, the corners are not, I should say, exactly how the final shot was. I think it was a little bit to the left here to capture this rock. But man, the saturation in this is unbelievable. It looks so good through the EVF. So what I like, we have a nice and interesting foreground, right, with these leaves forming this curve, and then this pool of water here that leads into the river. And then of course, the further you go back, you have this really bright yellow tree line on the right, the hill slash mountain in the center of frame, or just in the center of frame, just off center. And then even on the far shore, there's character in there. You know, you have the water. You have the water, and then a layer of green, a layer of yellow, and then some character in the trees as well. Yeah, this is really special. Really glad I'm out here right now, even though I'm getting wet. That's all right. Now, Thomas Heaton also said it's really difficult to film yourself while out in the rain, and I definitely agree. And I'm using a waterproof GoPro. I can't imagine what he goes through with 2 different tripods and 2 different camera setups. But we're at another scene. This is a hemlock grove behind me, just across from the river. That I've been here a few times trying to sniff out a shot. I thought the winter might work, but what I really like today, if I could find a way to get these light colored ferns with the spaced out trunks and then some of the yellow in the lower leaves, I will be ecstatic. It's difficult to find a spot. Down over here, you see these green low pines. They're too high and they're going to interrupt the foreground. So there's a little opening here with no green on either side, but I want to try to make that work. Okay, here is what I am looking at. So let's start with the ferns. This was an important part of the scene. These are all on the way out, dying for the fall and winter, and it's a rare light ground cover scene that you don't see all too often. I might have to try a different crop factor, but right now I'm at a 16:9 to really just show the bottom of the forest floor. The problem is the sky is still very bright, so if I lift up the camera at all the highlights in the sky, I think, distract from the image, but I'm going to try one that way anyway. Maybe with a 1x1. But for now, really like this. We'll have to see how it edits. I'm not sure. This green patch here annoys me, but I couldn't find any other composition that I loved without getting the sky in it, or without having too many trees just overlapping and looking crazy. So let me try a 1x1 with this guy, and we'll see which one turns out better. I'm here at White Lake in Hardwick, New Jersey. I got a little lost. I was trying to follow the Delaware River, but there was a flipped over dump truck on Old Mine Road that caused me to take a detour. And because I have a new Google phone that for some reason will not play music when location services are on, I had my GPS off and thought I knew where I was going, but got turned around and got a little lost. But I found this place called White Lake, which has a lot of character. Unfortunately, you can't really walk around the lake. There's some trails for sure, but there's a endangered habitat along the shoreline, so there isn't really much access points to the lake other than this dock that I'm at. But the trees are absolutely stunning right now. I wish there were some character in the sky. So any of my compositions, I'm going to eliminate the gray sky. It is literally just gray with nothing else. But my goodness, these trees across the lake are insane. So let me spend a few minutes here, see if I can sneak out a composition or two. Yeah, excellent. Okay, I think we have a few compositions here. I'm looking out for my first shot, probably from that red tree on the left over to the smaller yellow one on the right, maybe a 16:9. That looks like it could be a really interesting shot. But there's a couple of other things to sniff out too. So if I move left and zoom in, we have this scene here with that looks like a weeping willow tree behind the grass in front of the lake. If I can tidy that up, that might be something worthwhile too. And then if we zoom again out to the right, there's some really interesting trees. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah, look at these trees here with just the yellow on the tips of the branches. I really like that. I really like that. It almost looks like Christmas lights on top of them. So I'm going to try something in that area as well. Yeah, this whole section has trees like that. Alright, and the rain is starting to pick up again, so I am going to get out the umbrella. Okay, this is pretty much a nightmare. I'm gonna call it a day. I'm soaked. These pictures stink. I'm not sure what else to say. This was a very disjointed video. Thanks for hanging in there. I guess the lesson learned, though, there is a positive. The lesson learned is with rainy photography, and I should have realized this, it's more about shots in the woods, up close to your subject, as opposed from, 3/4 of a mile away across a lake where you're shooting through, 200,000 raindrops. It just doesn't work. I think I was wrong. This is by no means one of my best photographs, but there is a certain softness to the photo due to the rain that really appeals to me. And you can see the raindrops in the surface of the water. So I take that back. I was in a bad mood because I was soaking wet. Here, the next one is even a little softer, and perhaps slightly out of focus, but I do love those trees at the top, and I decided to include it here. I'm not exactly sure where I am for this next stop. Random road in a random field in the Gap area. Somewhere pretty close to Old Mine Road, but a few side roads off of that. Okay, so what I'm looking at here that really attracts me, you can see the fog just on the top of, you know what? I will be right back. I need to take a picture of that fog. Okay, so the fog on top of that ridge is lovely. This road in the center of frame right now, leading up to that brown red tree, lovely. This green interspersed between the dead, I guess that's grass, lovely. It's such a great scene, and of course the backdrop of that ridge is in full fall foliage. The only wish I had is a better sky. So right now I think it only makes sense to try and eliminate the sky and just have a little bit of that showing up above the ridge, and I could darken that a bit in post. So let me take a few more carefully thought out shots while we still have fog, and let's see what we do. It's so beautiful. Just for a minute, I mean, look at this whole entire scene. What an interesting day. I think I underperformed here. My memory of the scene is better than these shots. While I like these photographs, they don't capture it quite as well as I had hoped. However, earlier in the day, down by the river with those yellow trees in the background and the nice foreground element, that's probably my favorite picture of the year. And on the other hand, at White Lake, I thought it was a disaster, but those pictures turned out okay. So another day of interesting and unexpected photography. It is really fun to learn. Thank you very much for watching. Get out and explore, and have a great rest of your day.